Be recording. Look like we have anybody remotely, so I think we'll voice vote tonight. Guys had a chance to listen.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion 7 minutes for Jesus. Okay, so make a motion to set the minutes for June 2nd, 2025. Second.
Vote for Bailey. Yes.
Isn't coming in very good.
I can't understand it.
What's online?
I can share my screen. And yeah, Fred's online. Fred, if you want to explain the plan.
Yes, certainly. This is a little different plan. The planning board has approved a plan showing 2 lots in this location on Pleasant Street. And what we're looking at here is this is a compliance plan for the wildlife habitat permit we got for the site. They wanted us to put a plan on record, so we used the original 81P plan and overlaid on it our work area and the monumentation that they're going to require. They're going to require 7 bounds, concrete bounds, to be set on the property. And so that's what this is. We're not subdividing land. I have a plan purpose note at the top of the plan on the right. And it is for the sole purpose of compliance with the habitat permit.
Right, so we don't have to approve it, right?
It's not approved under the subdivision control law, but in order to get it recorded, it has to be signed by the planning board. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to. Pardon me?
So we need a vote to endorse the plan.
So I'll make the motion to endorse the A&R for 27 and 29 Pleasant Street.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous. There's a copy here for us to sign, Fred? Sign that guy. Wait.
Yes, I have copies up. There should be 4 prints.
Got it. Why don't we sign them? We'll wait for them.
They'll be in our office after today, so you can pick them up tomorrow or Wednesday if anyone.
Yeah, I can pick the original up tomorrow at the office. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is
I think I'm having a reception problem here, but I'm assuming I'll be able to pick the plan up tomorrow.
Yes, you can. Thank you. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I just can't understand you, but I'll come into the office tomorrow.
Okay, Fred, no problem.
Thank you.
We don't have to sign the papers, just the money.
Come on there.
So 7 Netmont Drive. Yep, what do you got?
Good evening, my name is Mark Santoro. I'm an engineer from Grafton, Mass. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. We're, as you know, this is previously approved project and we're under construction and we just before you for a determination of minor modification. We're making a small change, 2 small changes. And I always feel it's prudent to ask the board if you agree that the change is minor, rather than go forward in construction, make a change we feel is minor, and then get to the end and say, wait a minute, you guys should have come back to.
Why don't you lay out the change
So,
and show us what?
Yeah, yes, sir. So, the 2 changes that, and I initially submitted them together, and then Jeff Walsh had some comments about the roadway, and I didn't want them to be together tonight, so I broke them out. But if the board thinks tonight that both these changes are minor, you could still vote them to be minor, and we could work out the details with Jeff, but I'll outline the
What's
changes.
Jeff's comments?
Sorry, I didn't mean to go to the end without answering your first question. I'm gonna explain what the 2 changes are first, and then I don't have his comments with me, but I remember them. So the first one is very minor. It's drainage materials. We want to change the material from plastic to concrete chambers. Same elevation, same location. They both meet stormwater management. We submitted a whole new hydrology report to Graves. He reviewed it. He had a couple minor comments and I addressed them in this plan. The biggest comment was we didn't have a detail sheet yet. I didn't want to do the detail sheet until I saw that he agreed with my concept that it worked. And so I'm prepared to submit the revision to him after this hearing. If the board deems this as a minor modification, then he can sign off on it. We won't proceed with anything until Graves is good with it. That's the drainage part. The other part was we had a conflict in the roadway location with telephone pole. And we want to flip the road location from where it's. I could point up on the board. Could you put the plan up? The proposed road is approved right here, and so we want to move it over to here. Yes, it's better line, it's right where it is. He commented he didn't have any problem with that horizontal alignment. His commented vertical alignment. I made 2 new plans, one 10%, which is how it's previously approved, and then I have another one at 12%. And I'd like to vet those 2 out, and if you could go to 12%, it'll be a great benefit to the site, because at 10% it is a deep cut right here. It's like 2-to-1 slope, and then this wall, basically the road gets cut in unnecessarily.
So we're looking at Route 16, or we're looking at the back,
The back.
backside?
You know what, sorry to jump in here a few minutes late, but if you gotta cut it down that far, that means retaining walls if you need be, and which in turn becomes, if it's not done right, it becomes a problem down the road too. Yeah.
And the way the new, this layout with, and basically I have another version that needs the 7.5% Jeff wants to see there, and then it blends the 12% area and then it goes down to 2% here. At that, then this wall becomes like a curve, and then a curve here, and then everything is black in between instead of wall game.
If it was going out onto Route 16, it might be a different situation, but I think going into that road that has really no cars on it at all. Me personally, I think that's probably, it's beneficial for the people that are working there and the people that own the property, I feel. Not that I'm trying to save them money, but at the end of the day, we don't want to do things foolishly.
That's where the access for driveway is now. So we're using it for construction, bringing cement trucks in, load. The Home Depot truck came with the forklift and drove up it, no problem. Everyone's having no issue access. So the plan has a blasting building and ripping all this out, and this guy wires is a huge boulder right here, and the guy wire is into the boulder, so first the builder, we have to get National Grid, move the pole, it's gonna be real difficult for the owner, so that's.
So is that gonna be the main entrance now? Is that gonna be the main entrance now?
No, secondary entrance only, just basically in case this ever gets blocked, it's really not even the necessary entrance, except that, you know, you want to have two entrances to the site, so it's a backup.
I'll take over.
So again, to be clear, before you tonight to poll you to say, do you think this is a minor change or does this warrant opening the public hearing?
I'm more concerned about the drainage than I am about that.
Okay, so if we take them one at a time, then this one.
I mean, how does everybody feel about this being a minor change?
Praise his letter now.
Huh?
I can praise his letter.
Okay,
Yep.
He says,
yep,
This is number 11 on his letter. The proposed vertical alignment calls for a driveway grade of approximately 16.7% between the proposed 416 and 418 topographic contours, and approximately 14.3% between the 414 and 416 topographic contours. In GDI's opinion, these grades are too steep. GDI recommends that the design engineer strives not to exceed the steepest grade on the approved plans of 10%.
And then in response to that, I did two plans, one at 10% and one at 12%. And I emailed them to Jeff. I you know, it was last minute before the holiday, so I didn't expect a response.
That's the third, I think.
okay.
So
So he hasn't seen the 12.
he hasn't seen the new plans, but he's seen them, but.
He hasn't got back to us.
Yeah,
about the
and I
12.
didn't expect him to. I mean, it was holiday, came to the last minute.
Okay.
But he basically said the 10, it matches the approved plan. No change in horizontal vertical alignment that he wouldn't have an issue at all with that. The 12, that's the one that's why I tabled it today to say, you know, let's vet that and see what everybody.
But the 10% you are doable with,
Yeah,
and he said we could do the 10%?
Yeah, he's comfortable with 10%. Any change like that, he mentions the fire department should be.
Right.
Brought in,
Yeah,
but.
so maybe that's something that, you know, you would need to address the fire department, make sure they're comfortable with it.
to go to 12.
To go to, well, I mean, but you're comfortable with doing 10.
Well, the 10, if we left it at 10, we see a need to go to the fire department because it's the same as what's already approved.
Right.
So if we, after the meeting, we'll discuss it, but if 10, if we live with 10, we won't be back. If 12 is necessary, then we might go to fire department, see what they think, and then.
And that's the back, okay. All right, so
So the 10,
we'll discuss that. You want to move to the drainage now?
yes. Now on the drainage, basically, everything's the same. We're switching from plastic to concrete chambers. It's in the same elevation, same location. I submitted a hydrology report to actually review it. Yeah, a couple of comments like I didn't want to be.
Yeah, you modeled 60 chambers, but the plan only shows 55 chambers for the subsurface infiltration
Yeah,
system.
and I substitute, I added the road. So this plan is consistent with the model, 60 chambers. And the other comment here is I didn't have a detail sheet, because I didn't want to finish it, but I did prepare a detail sheet, and then so
Most of his comments are just about making sure that your plans are consistent with your computations.
yeah, and I spent today making sure they were, obviously, before we build anything, I'll get that letter.
Well, I guess at the end of the day, we should be looking at, as long as Jeff is comfortable with what your changes are, then
That's my position.
everybody here feels the same. So if you get a data boy from Jeff, then I think that you gotta, then you got a data boy from the board.
So again, formally, what I would ask you to do tonight is vote that the change is minor with the proviso that Graves agrees with the technical aspect.
As long as everybody's
I don't have a
not
problem
for
with
the,
that, but we need to address the abutters' concerns that the email that we received from the abutter.
okay,
Yeah, one quick question before we turn the page. What was the catalyst for changing from plastic to?
Well, availability, it's a special order, in some of the ABS products and durability on the site. I feel that the Coltech chambers, I personally, I don't feel like they're tried and true. I've seen failures with trucks over them and especially with the.
seems like a lot of these new septic designs that they're using, all these plastic Caltech systems, a lot of them are failing.
Yeah, it's weak.
You know, and it makes the-
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, that's it. I mean, I agree with you on that. It makes the contractor look bad when
Yeah.
the septic system failing after 10 years when it's supposed to last a lot longer than that. you
Is
know?
that for surface water or is that for septic?
Stormwater.
Stormwater.
Yeah. And so this, we're proposing, excuse me, concrete chambers, H20 loading, heavy duty, on stone. Needs stormwater management, 100%. So,
It's like I said, if Jeff's comfortable with it.
Yeah, as long as Jeff, I mean, and then the grade on the driveway going in the back there. I mean,
if-
maybe you guys talk it over, if you can stick with the 10% without having to go back and forth. Make it work. I mean, if the 12% helps you and saves some money, then maybe if I would, maybe, I don't know what you would do.
and respectfully, thank you for caring about the money, but it isn't even the money, they have to blast either way. Because it's rock right at the top, so whether they cut for a 10%, 12%, but what it's gonna save is the final condition at the end, instead of having this, the sites being raised and the roads getting cut. So and the only, I would design it, but the only engineer designed, the only thing was the original engineer design the road.
Somebody unmute themselves, please.
I'm working on it.
Thank you.
So all I can think of is the original design intent was, bring it to 10%, because that's the number, but I read the bylaw, I didn't see any, it's not a subdivision, so it's private property, so whatever works is what would be acceptable, and so it's buck graded, the road's being cut down to get the road flat, and the site's being raised up because it needs to be raised up because of the rock and all that, so if we could keep the road close to where the existing conditions are, then the raised site, it would blend in better. That's the.
Well, I guess if you want to take the time to, review this with, go back and forth with Jeff, and if he okays the 12%, then, I mean, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody here, but I mean, where we're going onto a little back alley road, I mean, and he's not running down a hill onto Route 16. I would think that if Jeff is okay with it, then usually the board.
What was his comment again on the grade? I think he was out of the 12.
What he said, I talked to him on the phone, what he said to me was that his only concern was a fire truck coming in and maybe scraping. So he said that he's got a chart that we could do a vertical curve, and then we'd see if the truck worked or not. And if I did that, if I provided a profile and we drew a vertical curve and then we could compare it to his chart, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And so.
I guess that is your answer then.
Yeah, and to your point, it does help, it helps us tremendously to leave it at that, because as long as the horizontal alignment is okay, we go ahead, we make a cut, do the blasting, and when it's time to fill, how high we go
Is how high.
is based on this engineering, how you have time to do that.
Okay.
And we can proceed and not, and everything, it will come together, and we'll be doing the right thing. And this, and again, before you to just so that down the road, you don't say, well, somebody doesn't say this changed and it didn't go to the board.
So we appreciate that. A lot of people would not do that, so that's a good thing. I guess there's
There is something about an email from
a button. Oh, yeah.
She's online.
Oh, this is.
At your tab.
Yeah.
So the email that we received from Sandra Taft was questioning whether Route 16 egress onto the highway was approved by the state.
Yes, it was, and that's a good point, I'm glad you brought it up, because that's in his plan, this changes in his plan too, so we got it. Why don't, Valente, the owner, received an email from the Mass DOT approval, emailed it to me, I read it, reviewed it, and basically the approval was very simple, it said, originally, they were asking for as wide as possible, and that was, they asked me how, you know, how far can we go, I said, make it as wide as you want, see what they come back with. And the state came back and said, we want the road to be 30 feet wide with two 50-foot turning radiuses max. So that's what I laid out. I took redrew the entrance at 30 foot wide and where the catch base, and put the catch bases right at the tangent and created two 50-foot radiuses. And that's what the state permit was issued at, and now the plan reflects the state permit. And so everything's.
So there's an approval for the entrance off of
Yes,
it.
by Mass DOT.
Okay.
The plan reflects the new approval instead, the old plan didn't, the old plan was wide, had a wide open road. So this perfects that.
By any chance, can you please get that copy of that to Dylan?
Absolutely.
Just so we have it for our records in case anybody questions it.
The second one was the amount of the material that's being brought in, but you said you're raising the site, so that explains the material to me.
Yes, sir. Sand, clean sand, local gravel pit. The gravel, the rock was crushed from the site. Too much aggregate, basically the material blend is so much rock. And so the sand is being brought in to augment to make perfect gravel. And hopefully at the end it levels out. And I'm tracking the quantities that did an earthworks analysis, for me 5,000 yards, brought in 2,500 or so, so getting close. But I don't want
You're
to.
mixing it with the dirt that's already on site to make a spec grade gravel,
Exactly.
which is normal if need be.
Absolutely.
Be lucky that you have it on site to mix stuff with, because it would be probably 20,000 yards.
Play, and you're gonna export again. So the rock, as much as it was a burden, it's double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Once you make the commitment to blast and crush, then it becomes product and it's not a waste. So we're there recycling, which is a good thing.
Right. And just as long as you can keep, obviously we have neighbors that are, upset of listening to it, and I get it. Just have respect for them and do the best you can. I know you're moving as quickly as possible. You want to get your building up and moving, so.
And I know the foundation's in.
Yeah.
We tried to keep the hours of operation, the crushing operation, the majority of it is complete.
Mhm.
The only crushing that might take place again in the future is when this road cut is made, depending on quantities, we may crush this and use it beneficially on site, but it won't be anything compared to the original crushing. And that was done quickly.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Can we go to Ms. Tass, see if she had any questions?
Mr. Taft, do you have any questions or concerns?
I heard something about blasting. How much blasting is gonna be going on?
A couple of days, so we brought in the blast and we have pre-blast surveys done of all the properties in the area that are within 250 feet of the work. And those pre-blast surveys, they're privileged to the people that have the house. We don't have copies of them, but we have a third party that holds those. And we are gonna try not to blast, we can use a hammer first. If the hammer can't break it, which we suspect it won't, then we'll get a blasting permit from the fire department. They'll impose conditions, maybe have a fire detail, and it'll only be in the back of the site. Front of the site, we could not blast because of the state highway, so we fought through that with hammers and got to grade. So the majority of the cut has been done without blasting, and the back roadway is the last section, and that's, will only be a couple of days blasting max.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you. No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we got it.
All right, so I guess you guys, whatever Jeff says is what we'll go with. I mean, that's gonna be, so you work it out. I mean, do you want to approve contingent, contingent to Jeff's approval?
Yeah.
That way there, once we get the approval, you don't have to come back in front of us. If you want to go with the 10%, or if he says okay for the 12th. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, it's okay.
I think,
Yes, as long as Jeff says, that's what I mean.
and I think
I'll
we,
make a motion. Go ahead.
I think we just want to see that loop closed, so make sure that the documentation of Jeff giving that okay gets to Dylan.
Yeah, Yeah.
Everything I submit to Jeff, I'll submit to you and I'll copy Jeff, so.
and that way there, and if, when it does come up, before you start any construction, make sure that she knows about it and that everything is where it needs to be.
Understood.
You're gonna send her the email from the state.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Gotta prep that, in. Guys don't mess around. All right, well,
Make a motion to. That this is gonna be a minor modification depending upon Graves Engineering's determination on the, road cut.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Yeah. There's one down. So we got an A&R plan that was signed for Pleasant Street.
Yeah, we did that.
Okay,
From Brackett Road.
Brackett Road. Sorry. So, Brackett Road
Is this the
subdivision.
one we did for,
Yes.
Yeah.
What's Brackett Road? This is over.
Anybody ever told that?
No, so it's 29 West Hartford.
Yeah. Well, it will, if it was, when it's all said and done, it will be
Be
Brackett.
renamed.
No, it's off of it's off of Hartford Ave.
Gotcha.
So you know where, going Hartford Ave West, you start climbing the hill.
Yep.
There was a old rundown house years ago that, well, somebody died in it. Well, they had bought that. They did a bunch of work in there.
Gotcha.
And there's a bunch of land out in the back that they had a subdivision.
We
There
have,
was- We approved it. It just need to be, the plans need to be signed.
so we just have to sign the plans, is that where we're at?
Yeah.
And no changes to the subdivision as we voted on.
No changes at all, no. There was just a superseding order of conditions as a condition of approval that had to be issued and recorded, and that was done in October, about 8 months ago, so.
When did we vote to approve this?
Oh, Christ, it had to be a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
no?
it was approved June 14th of 21,
I never signed it back then.
and it was signed, the decision was signed November of 21, November 8th.
So how does that work? Where we have two members that are here that were on here in 21, doesn't matter, right? We'll just sign them all, okay? You have them?
We don't have to do it today. The engineered plans have to be signed individually to get recorded, in 28 pages long.
28 pages? Well, I mean,
You can say.
all right, we could, whatever, what do we have, what else do we have here? Point of representative, let's point a representative real quick, and then we'll jump on it.
My term is
Oh.
expired.
Huh?
My term as CPC representative has expired, so
All right.
it has to be renewed by a vote of the board.
You wanna do it?
Yeah.
Okay,
What does that involve anyways?
Involves me going the first Tuesday of every month to another meeting
What?
community preservation.
on how we're gonna spend the CPC funds, who's
Yeah.
gonna get what money. Planning board has to have a representative, Concom has to have a representative, selectmen have to have a representative, and there's a representative at large plus the chair.
Make a motion, if Barry wants to do it, don't shake it, unless you wanna do it, unless somebody wants to fight for it.
Votes to appoint as representative as a CMRPC delegate.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, of course.
Thanks for taking that on.
I know that Charlie, you're looking for some plans, right?
Excuse me. That was for CPC, this is CMRPC, this is what Bill was doing.
Oh, so this is different.
Two.
We need to do the CPC because I got an email from Jeremy tonight. I thought that's what we discussed. Oh, I'm CPC, local. I'm not going regional.
So we didn't need that, strike.
No, strike that from the
Yes,
record.
please.
Is there anybody that wants to be a CMRPC delegate?
Billy, I thought Billy wanted to finish that out.
Does he?
I thought so. That was,
Huh?
I would assume so.
All right, so we're just gonna leave him on there. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
If you guys.
Is he-
I would.
is he?
Oh, I don't want to pull him
Is
away.
he okay?
I haven't talked to him.
Do we
So
want
let's
to this
appoint
till the
him.
next meeting?
No, let's appoint William Ambrosino.
You guys-
I'll make a motion to appoint William Ambrosino as CMRPC delegate.
There a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Now you gotta do CPC.
All right, now
That's
we're gonna,
me.
we already did you.
It's CMRPC.
Oh, all right.
Well, yeah, but that's not on the agenda, so
It doesn't have to be.
it doesn't.
It's, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna be coming in here defending it.
it has to be a planning board.
Anybody want to make a motion to put Gary as a C?
CPC.
C,
I'll make the motion to appoint Barry as CPC representative.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done.
Staying.
All right. Guess if we all feed this along, we can probably.
That's taken.
This is, this town?
Can we stamp these?
We can.
have to hand sign these.
This will provide if you want to.
Wow.
Like stamp the.
So this is you. Oh, no, right now. Park Street, Gary, yeah. No. You have the, you have everything? Oh, this is, Netmont Drive. What's that? Pleasant Street, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Is this the pen for?
We're gonna sign the paper ones for Pleasant, just in case they need them.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought my.
Just too small.
Nobody warned me when I made my stamp not to make it huge.
So these gotta be stamped and signed.
These are, you guys already signed those. Signing.
We already signed.
Maybe you shouldn't sign them. You
What?
vote on them.
Oh, shit. That could be somebody else's name. No, I'm just kidding. No, you know what, though, I think didn't I originally vote on it?
This was today, before you showed up.
We are signing.
You okay with that?
So this is the different one. This isn't bracket.
No, this is the one we signed today already. You see that? We're good. We're good. Yeah.
Because originally I was here for this. We approved on it.
You were.
The final.
No, you want to. Actually, Mr. Cloud, what do you, stuff from Gary and stuff from?
Tetra Tech was engineering, Gary was surveyor. So that's the stuff that we found.
So you need everything signed by this.
Yeah, that's the most important.
Yeah.
Date today, 8?
Okay.
President. 1, 2, 3.
That's the original.
Yes.
There's the ones I pulled up.
There's some. The little fitting one. We got the.
Okay, I'll take them back. You'll get a time. You just print them to get a packet of Sharpie. Oh, no. Let me know where.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Which way did you go? Right, Mason?
Do a sip.
Okay. There it is.
Eric.
Colin. Can you sign these? And this one will be done if you sign.
Sign off.
Yeah. It could be done once.
What is this then?
This is, you already signed the Mylar, this is what the paper copy signed.
Okay, so I just need. Doesn't matter if the orders change. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Important.
Hang up your phone.
You figure on your stack.
Yes.
Just had.
Fred knows you're here. Fred said he was coming in tomorrow to pick him up, so,
Well, I didn't touch base with
okay, make sure he knows when to come in for him.
Yeah, I'll text him.
Okay. Otherwise, it's gonna show up and I won't have anything to report.
This one.
The applications.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. We used to have. I don't know. Yeah, they don't work to the file. If that's why they usually don't have 40 pages. It's probably not. I think we looked at those.
What are we gonna use this? Never happened to this before.
I believe it's just one page.
So that's the. There's another time.
You guys can close up the website.
All right.
You can close the meeting while you're signing.
Make a motion.
Got. Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
When's the next meeting, Dylan? August what?
We're not having a meeting until that August. It'll be the fourth.
Okay. So if there's something on the agenda.